You've spent your whole life trying to get it right, saying the right thing, wearing the right clothes, making the right choices. Also, people will approve. So they'll like you, accept you, think well of you, and it's exhausting. Every decision filtered through the question, what will they think? Every move calculated to avoid judgment, to stay safe, to stay acceptable. But here's what nobody tells you. The moment you stop caring what other people think, everything changes. Not just a little, everything. Your relationships get better. Your confidence grows. Your life becomes yours. And the fear that's been running you your entire life loses its grip. This is what actually happens when you let go of needing their approval. And it's more powerful than you think. Let me show you what your life looks like right now. You're getting ready to something online. A photo, a thought, something you created. And before you hit share, you pause, you second guess. You edit, you think about how it will be received. Will they like it? Will they think it's stupid? Will they judge you? And sometimes you don't post it at all. You delete it. Because the fear of judgment is stronger than the desire to share. So you stay quiet. You stay small. You stay safe. Or maybe you're in a conversation, someone says something you disagree with, and you feel it rising. Your real opinion, your actual thoughts. But you don't say them. You nod. You smile. You go along. Because disagreeing might make them comfortable, might make them think less of you, might create conflict. So you swallow your truth, you perform agreement, and you walk away feeling like you just betrayed yourself. Again. Or maybe it's bigger than that. Maybe there's a dream you have, a career change, a creative project, a way of living that calls to you, but you don't pursue it. Because what would people think? Your friends, your colleagues, they have expectations. They have opinions about who you should be and what you should do, and disappointing them feels impossible. So you stay in the job that drains you. You stay in the life that doesn't fit. Because at least it's acceptable, at least it makes sense to them, even if it's killing you. And here's the heaviest part, you don't even know who you really are anymore. Because you've spent so long shaping yourself to fit their expectations that you've lost touch with your own preferences, your own values. You make decisions based on what's expected, what's normal, what won't raise eyebrows. And somewhere along the way, you stopped asking what you actually want. Because what you want doesn't seem to matter much as what they'll think about it. So, why does this happen? Why do we care so much about what other people think? It's hardwired. For most of human history, being part of the group meant survival. If the tribe rejected you, you died. So your brain learned to prioritize acceptance, to scan for disapproval, to avoid anything that might get you cast out. And even though we don't live in tribes anymore, even though social rejection won't actually kill you, your brain hasn't updated. It still treats disapproval like a threat, like danger, and it will do anything to avoid it. But there's something deeper here, something that explains why this fear has such power over you. And it's this: you've outsourced your sense of worth. You've given other people the power to decide if you're good enough, if you're acceptable, if you're valuable. And as long as they have that power, you're trapped. Because you'll spend your entire life trying to earn something from people who might never give it. Or who might give it and then take it away. You're building your self on the shakiest foundation possible. Other people's approval. And it will never be stable. Because they're not stable. Their opinions change. Their moods change. What they value changes. And you're left constantly adjusting, constantly performing. Never quite sure if you're enough. This is the core of it. Caring what others think is not about them. It's about you. It's about believing that their opinion of you is more accurate than your own. That they get to decide your value. That their validation to be okay. And as long as you believe that you're giving away your power, you're living in an audience that will never be satisfied. Because even when you get their approval, it doesn't last. You need more. You need it again. You need it from the next person. And the next. And the chase never ends. And this doesn't just make you anxious. It shapes your entire life in ways you don't even see. You make yourself smaller so you don't threaten anyone. You dim your light so you don't outshine anyone. You hide your opinions so you don't alienate anyone. You avoid risks so you don't look foolish. And slowly, without realizing it, you trade authenticity for acceptance. You trade your real self for a version you think they'll approve of. And you lose yourself in the process. It also keeps you stuck. Because when you're living for other people's approval, you can't take the risks necessary to grow. You can't try new things. You can't fail. You can't be different. Because all of those things invite judgment. And judgment feels unbearable. So you stay in your comfort zone. You stay in what's familiar, what's safe, what won't rock the boat. And you watch other people live boldly, take chances, build the lives they want. And you wonder why you can't. But you can't because you're trapped by the fear of what they'll think. And maybe the cruelest part, you're not even being judged as much as you think. Most people are too busy worrying about what you think of them to spend much time thinking about you. But you don't know that, because you're so consumed by the fear that you project it everywhere. You assume they're watching, evaluating, judging. They're just living their own lives, dealing with their own insecurities. And the prison you're living in is one you built yourself, with assumptions, with fear, with the belief that their opinion matters more than your own peace. But here's the shift. The moment you stop caring what other people think, you don't be careless. You become rude or selfish or disconnected. You become free. Free to be yourself. Free to make choices based on what you actually value instead of what you think will be accepted. Free to take risks. To try again. Free to say no. To have boundaries. Free to pursue the life you actually want instead of the life that looks good to others. And that freedom changes everything. When you stop needing their approval, you stop performing. You stop editing yourself, you stop shrinking, and something incredible happens. The people who are meant for you, the ones who actually see you and value you for who you really are, they stay, and they get closer, because now they're connecting with the real you, not the version you were performing, and those relationships become deeper, richer, more fulfilling, because they're built on truth instead of pretense, and the people who don't like the real you, they leave, or they fade. And that feels scary at first, like loss. But it's not loss. Because those relationships were never real anyway. They were transactional, based on you being who they wanted you to be. Maintain them required you to betray yourself. So letting them go is not failure. It's freedom. It's making space for people who actually belong in your life. And here's what else happens. You start trusting yourself. Because you're no longer looking outside for validation. You're checking in with yourself, asking what feels right, what aligns with your values, what serves your growth, and you start making decisions from that place. And those decisions might not make sense to everyone. They might raise questions, they might invite criticism, but they're yours, and that matters more than there ever could. You also become more resilient. Because when you're not dependent on external validation, criticism doesn't destroy you. Someone's disapproval doesn't send you into a spiral. You can hear feedback without internalizing it as proof that you're not enough. You can disagree with someone without needing to convince them. You can exist in the discomfort of not being liked by everyone, because you like yourself. And that's enough. So what do you actually do? How do you stop caring what other people think when it's been the driving force of your life for so long? Let me give you 3 steps. First, practice small acts of authenticity. You're not going to wake up tomorrow completely immune to others' opinions. This is a muscle you have to build. So start small. Say something true that you'd normally hold back. Wear something you like that's not quite the norm. Share an opinion that might not be popular. Post the thing without editing it to death. The goal is not to be shocking or rebellious. The goal is to practice being yourself even when it feels uncomfortable. And each time you do, you're proving to yourself that you can survive disapproval, that it's not actually dangerous, and the fear starts to lose its grip. Second, redirect the question. Every time you catch yourself asking, "What will they think?" stop and ask a different question. What do I think? What do I want? What feels right to me? This simple redirect shifts the power back to you. It reminds you that your opinion is the one that matters most when it comes to your own life. And the more you practice asking this, the more natural it becomes. You stop defaulting to the external and start defaulting to the internal. And that's where real cons lives, not in their approval, but in your own self-trust. Third, accept that not everyone will like you, and that's okay. This is hard to hear, but it's liberating once you accept it. You are not for everyone, and everyone is not for you. Some people will misunderstand you. Some will judge you. Some will disapprove of your choices. And none of that means you're wrong, it just means you're different from them. And different is not bad, it's just different. So stop trying to be universally liked. It's impossible, and it requires you to be no one. Instead, focus on being deeply liked by the right people. The ones who get you, who value what you value, who see you and celebrate you, those are your people. And they're enough. Here's the truth. Other people's opinions of you are none of your business. They're based on their experiences, their biases, their wounds, their projections. They're about them, not you. And giving them power over how you feel about yourself is like letting a stranger dictate your worth. It makes no sense. And yet, you've been doing it your whole life. But you can stop, not by becoming cold or disconnected, but by realizing that the only opinion that truly matters is your own. Because you're the one living your life. You're the one who has to look in the mirror. You're the one who has to live with your choices. So make them yours. When you stop caring what other people think, you don't lose connection. You gain it, real connection, based on truth. When you stop performing, you don't become less. You become more yourself. More alive, more free. And the life you build from that place is not perfect. It's not without challenges, but it's yours, fully, completely. And that's worth more than all the approval in the world. You've been living for them long enough. Their expectations, their judgments, their approval. And where has it gotten you? Exhausted, anxious, small, disconnected from yourself. But you can choose differently. Starting now, you can reclaim your power. You can decide that your opinion of yourself is what matters. And you can build a life that reflects who you actually are, not who they think you should be. It won't be easy. The fear will still show up. The doubt will still whisper. But each time you choose yourself anyway, you get stronger. Each time you speak your truth, share your work, live your way, even when it scares you, you're building the life that's actually yours. And that life is waiting, not out there. Right here, in the choice to stop performing and start being. If this resonated, if you're ready to stop living for their approval and start living for yourself, I'd love for you to subscribe. There's more here. More reminders that you're enough. More tools to build the confidence that comes from within. More truth about what it takes to live freely. And maybe that's exactly what you need to hear today. That you don't need their permission. You never did.